Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 13th session of the Podium Tech Talk series organized by Asiata Digital Labs. We're excited to have you here today as we dive into the latest trends in the world of technology and digital transformation. Our goal is to provide you with insights and knowledge from our very own tech experts and to showcase the services ADL offers that can help businesses around the world accelerate their digital adoption. Today's session is all about fintech and how it can help businesses automate their processes, provide e banking facilities, and enhance digital banking services globally. Our focus will be on the role of fintechs in driving digital transformation for banks. To help us explore the topic, we're excited to welcome our guest speaker, Rimaz Buhari. Rimaz is an experienced banking expert with a passion for fintech and a focus on achieving results through building diverse teams and listening to clients for the best outcomes. With a deep understanding of financial knowledge and a commitment to ensuring financial success for all communities, Rimaz is well equipped to provide valuable insights on today's topic. Our guest speaker, Rimaz Buhari, is a senior tech lead in fintech solutions at ADL and has been with the lab since 2019. He has played a pivotal role in the product development team and banking solutions. With a focus on people and continuous improvement, Rimas has established a talent pool and worked closely with team leads and managing leadership to drive success. Now I'll hand over the session to Rimas, who will be discussing the key topics of the role fintechs play in driving digital transformation for banks. He will provide valuable insights on how technology, along with ADL's unique cutting edge solutions, can help automate the banking industry. We're excited to learn from Rimas and discover how businesses can leverage fintech to drive digital transformation and stay ahead of the curve in this rapidly evolving industry. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Rimas.
Thank you very much for the long introduction. Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I just checked the audience. Yeah, people are coming from fintechs. They have been experienced fintechs. Gentlemen are there. People are coming from the telco background. University students are joining today, and I'm really happy. Today, most of the people are joining for this session from non-fintech area. So it's glad because as a fintech company, as doing this arena for last decade, and just we want to talk to the non-fintech people and we want to listen their thought processes. So it's very exciting. So seeing this audience, I'm just changing. Just I had a thought process of doing today presentations, but I'll just change and I will adapt for new audience, new users for the fintechs. So I'll just try my maximum to onboard them into this discussion for next 45 minutes. I hope my voice is audible and my presentation is visible to everyone. Yeah,
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
okay, good. So in here that I think in the Q&A forum is been there. If you do have any questions, you can portray there, or after the sessions, we can have the discussions and we will drive this off very good discussion point. And because I'll share my knowledge and the learning curves, what we have done it through the ADL environment. And we also want to learn lots of from you because we are talking about the fintechs. So it's be a globally evolved products. You then the Q&As will give a more idea for both of us. So not taking that much of a time. And the meantime, I want to elaborate on one thing today, that we talk about fintechs, we talk about the digital transformations. Moreover, we just to stabilize our role in these banking transformations. So in this process, why we have chosen this topic, because of we have understand working with these banks and financial companies for last 1.5 decades, and we have thought that we have missed some areas as a fintech companies, and banks also missed few critical and crucial movements of the fintech industry growth. So how we can go this and solve this problem in a different way. So this R&D is being started 1.5 years back, and we have keep on evolving, talking to banking CEOs and fintech company startups, and the lots of discussion we have built it up. So I just want to summarize all the knowledge and what we have gained through the last period and share with you on this podium. So just to take on this fintech, because everybody in this forum, most of the forum people know about, but I just want to highlight this is for the newbies. So we are talking about 1950s, the Diners Club launched this fintech. This fintech is means a financial technology. You and me in the audience, I believe that everybody is end of the month that we just open our mobile application and see the salary is credited, or you want to transfer money for your friends, families, you're using mobile application. So with knowing or without knowing, you just using a fintech products in your hand. So the evolvement of the fintech, when this is started 1950s, but it's go beyond on that. In 1980, US Federal Reserve is launched of in the previous movies we know about telegraph, Morse codes. From there onwards, it's been rising up from 1918 and 1950. Diners Club introduced first universal card. The cashless societies comes up. First ATM is now, if my memory is correct, 1967. First ATM is being introduced to the market, and Nasdaq have done electronic tradings in 1970s. Just fast forward, we need to give a little bit credit for PayPal, because that is where that my in taking the personal life, that mean the last stage of my school career, moving out from schools, doing O levels and all. The PayPal is going to boost up. We want to highlight what is this PayPal. We thought that's we mutually getting friends network, but finally we identify, okay, this is the financial technology company is doing send money between the people they do in the payment industry. So the evaluation, this fintech is happening throughout now. Now we are talking about artificial intelligences. We are talking about the blockchain. We have talking about the bitcoins. We are talking about the robo advisories. These are the things are now happening in this fintech industry. But ladies and gentlemen and my friends, today's session, we are talking a little about these blockchains and how these robo advisories are working. But moreover, the defined role, what we have to change our fintech role, that is going to be the more focus in this presentation. This is also newbies that you can identify that everybody think the fintech is just to have a mobile application, fund transfer is happening, right? We have done that is the fintech. No, my friends, that's under this fintech, they have multiple subdomains we have to think about. Why I just put this specific slide, because moreover people join from the development team, the people who try to find a jobs in the fintech areas, and some people who want to change their career path into the fintech areas, and new startups of the fintechs also coming to the market, and they are also joining for today's session. So this will be, you need to give a little bit your thought process on that. They have about the banking tech. That means in come nowadays, the banking is talking about using APIs, big data, and module API driven benefits, just to go beyond of the using within the regulatory, how using the cloud. And this banking technology also evolving. Today is more areas we are talking about banking technology. The payment technology also is evolving, so that is also one of coming as a subdomain of the fintech. And regulate that you need to be have give a little bit respect on that, because in any financial or fintech we are talking about money that's going to be a digital money, but somebody should take a responsibility, and that is where the the regular tech is coming to the this picture. Some of fintech companies do not like these areas, but we have to give some respect for them, because it should be the financial module of fintech is comply with the regulation. That is plus and minus are there, but unfortunately we have to go there. Now RegTech is going boom up. Wealth also, this is related to the wealth management. If you see our neighbor country India, recent past, that wealth management after the COVID situation, this wealth management process, the banks taking that much of initiating for the wealth management, that should also need to be incorporated with the fintech. So that's happening boom up. Lending tech nowadays, without knowing, you can see the online loan facilities, P2P lending, the crowdfunding. These things are happening in African region. Is very good in the crowdfunding. I hope that you recently listening about the buy now, pay later modules, right? So how it's buy now, they are doing your credit scoring. Sometimes they are using your mobile data. And so that Lendtech, it's giving a boom up. Last 10 years back, the lending, it's very typical process. And recently, this is after the COVID situation, this microloan lending, this will be very grateful, because in a country like Sri Lanka, we totally depend, our total economy is depend on SMEs, that mean small, medium entrepreneurs. So they will getting lots of benefits of this the small lending, micro lending processes become digitalization. So they are getting lots of benefits from this lendtech. Insurtechs, if you ask, it's in our research that is in the early stages, because they are using AI, big data, but the market, big players are in the market. So these are, they want to come out with the brick and mortar modules and do the market. So this particular slide, friends, because who's want to entering into the fintech domain, if they want to, after their universities and after their training period, if they love to step in for the fintech industries, just don't think that they only have one thing, there's a payment technology is only there, but you can have multiple areas you can consider about, and you can step into these areas. If somebody is more going for the regular tech, is I'm really happy, because that are the people is demanding on this area. So you have multiple options. And if you do have a scared, okay, this is now fintech, how you tell Rimaz the fintech is the future, and how we can choose a product or a startup, how we going to invest, the investors, how we can put lots of money for this fintech research and development and fintech product. These numbers will justify you. So these sources will be got, I can mentioned over there. Can see that in 2026, the global digital payment transaction value will be worth of USD 11.29 trillion, close to 11.3 trillion. And the second one is the projected market size of the global fintech is the 305.7 billion. In here, the last year I got a chance to do a small in-house presentation. That time I do remember I have put in 2022, it will be reached about 297 billion. But if you go with the some Gartner actual research, they come up with close to the 265 to 70 billion. That means somehow they predicted a value, they are having reaching of the 60 to 670%. That means this market evolvement, the growth of the fintech industry predictions are not 100% accurate, but is going to be reached more than 70%. It's giving us a hope in the fintech industry growth. Choosing a fintech industry is not a wrong decision. So 96 of consumers are in using an alternative one fintech product. I just park over there at very interesting point I want to talk. AI expected to power 95% of all customer interactions in the next decade. By 2022, blockchain tech also hit to the 67 billion. For these two areas, we are talking about the AI and the blockchain is going to be going to make a big player in the next years, coming years. Today, our topic, we are involving banks also into this, and you can see this part. So 88% of legacy banking companies fear they will lose the revenue to the fintech firms. 82% of traditional finance companies plan to increase fintech partnership in the next 3 to 5 years. So this is where that I want to take in a startup. One area, one industry is saying we're going to power by using AI and blockchain, and we're going to boom up this market. We're going to take it up this market by 11.29 trillion. One side, our banking partners and our banks are saying that research saying 88% of legacy banking fear about this. And good thing is 82% of traditional financial companies plan to increase fintech partnership in the next 3 to 5 years. So we are talking about the different approaches, different SBUs or different modules of this business in the financial modules. But in here today, we want to talk about this. So did banks welcome the fintech? I have put yes, no, maybe. Uh, we will choose in the after this my explanation. We will choose. You can pick it up one or from here. We have forgot or otherwise we as a fintech arena, lots of my friends and we are discussing about these things. What we thought is we have forgot about the real hero over here. In here, just need to go beyond of 1960s. We are talking about digitalization, my friends. But banks in 1960s, they have talked about computerization. In 1960s, they have in Sri Lanka particularly, they have used papers and pens and ledger books for doing their banking activities, right? But they have taken that initiation of the computerization. So we have to respect them. That time is the computers is a huge money, technology is not there, knowledge is not there. So they had that huge problem, but they took that risk on that time, investing of millions dollar for not doing for digitalization. I'm talking about doing the computerization. From there onwards, they have invested money for core banking modules, lending backends, security components, POS terminals, ATM modules, printing a book in digital way, serving customers in through the digital channels. From there onwards, these banks investing huge money to serve their customers, right? So we need to respect them, friends. The fintech should respect or fintech should think, okay, this is a competitor or fintech. If think fintech thinks we need to overtake the banks, these are different strategies by companies. But what we are trying to say here is we follow, these are the people have done their role in that period and they have invested lots of money introducing on that time of fintech. There are two things they have on the mind of the banks. One is thought process of the leadership. Second thing is return on investment. So you can't blame from single-handedly to the bank and say, hey, bank, you are traditional, you are old. Or if you go and type in the Google, say fintech will overtaken by banks, no more banks hereafter. So we are in a position not to talk about that matter, how we can take these banks and fintechs together and run these to the win-win situation, because banks have done a crucial part of the future. Let's talk a real-time scenario. I'm not justifying yes or no, maybe it will up to you, but I will explain you why we want to take a one decision. Meantime, first initially, we have gone to the fintech company is launching a product, South Asian country like us or Malaysia or Indonesia. We just first go and use because of that fintech product owned by a bank, right? If most of the people will agree, I have done, I'll take example from my house. I work for a fintech for last 15 years. We have introduced a wallet in Sri Lanka. I have tried my mother to use a mobile application. That time we had a small Samsung phone, and I just want to introduce to her. She never listened to me, right? That is the ultimate failure because I couldn't uh, push my mother to use a wallet, right? She did. But when she went for the bank, because she usually go to the bank, the relationship with the bank, the one of bank user introduced this thing to her, and it's a separate different bank. They have introduced a digital channels. Today she's touching and balance, seeing the balances. She, if you want to give a rent, she's doing it from there. So she also in that percentage of using a digital front end. But I failed as a fintech person to convince her. But when she stepped into the bank, the user from, she didn't even know her name, but she trusted that, right? So in this use case, in the Sri Lanka last decade, we need to recognize, or in the world or South Asia region, we have to identify the trust, the built by banks. We need to respect. Fintech is still try to build up these things, but in here the banks have been built it up. That is one part. Second part, so the bank you should respect. That is what my first part. Second part, fintech. Did banks serve underserved or unbanked community, regulatory, the languages they have talking to the users, the people fear to reach the banks. These type of this population is being touched the digital financial modules through the fintech. So we need to respect that on the fintech because they come up with the technology. They empower these people and they will take it over these customers in for the digitalization. And they have done that rapid change over the market. So the banks is coming with the traditional domain knowledge, traditional serving of the customers and keep on trust and driving the market. They already done the investment. Fintech come up power of the technology and changing the landspace of the industry and introducing new technology, new innovation and everything. I'm not talking about one or two companies. I'm respecting all the financial companies or fintech companies all over the world. They have changed this cultural mindset and the financial landscape in a different way. So if you ask me, these new fintech companies come to the market, that time banks also, some banks have hugely invested for the previous legacy systems. Still, they did not reach the return on investment. So they are not able to convince their top management to come and invest for the fintech products. First, second is the knowledge gap. The third one is in the return on investment approaches profitable mechanism. So if you ask me, Rima, that you are going to put blame on the banks, I will put on a blame on two way. The fintech also that time just to focus on selling a product or fintech modules to the bank rather than the benefits of the changes and how the bank's going to, if invested, how they are going to take the return. That analysis the bank also didn't do on that provident fund, that provision area. The fintech also didn't do because fintech is coming globally. But when it comes for their nation, their geographical area, that part was missing. So the banks got feared because the people money, if you are going to give it to the other hand, you giving to the mobile phone, do mobile phone is secured one. So it took time, but the answer is I'm just not justifying the no. If I go for the maybe, ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues, this approach is changing now. The good leaders, new innovative conceptualized leaders are coming to the banking industry, top managements. They've been understanding of the power of fintech. They want to take the fintech into their hands and they want to collaborate it and work. That is why in Sri Lankan context, I'm just taking Sri Lanka. So you can see they have been more than 20 plus payment application in the market. The acquirers issue bank, more than 12 plus bank introducing a digital solution for front-end digital solution for customers. They are not developing those things. Few banks only have a development arm, but the others all are giving a trust with the fintechs, and they are giving opportunity and they will drive it off. But did banks still welcome the fintech in open-handed? My answer is yes, they want to, but no, because still trust is not builded. Because why the fintech did fintech my question is, did fintech play the correct role of the digitalization or transformation in the banks? That is because you can't blame those areas, but you should think about the way how you go and touch these banks and support when you do the B2B business. I'm not talking about the B2C. Don't confuse on that area. B2C, your general public, buy now, pay later, or something. Just you just grab it for the direct customers on the financial technology. But if you want to do a B2B business as a fintech company, if you want to do a B2B business with the banks, that if you want to support of the banks, and you want to involve the banks as the businesses, so that time these are the missing components being there. And this is where that what went wrong. The first thing is the cultural fit. The banking I have explained, if you go there, the last changes, the computerization, I explained you, computerization, semi-digitalization happened on there. Now we are talking about the fintech, because they have rapidly changes and they are adapting the changes into their banking environment. So investment and the talking method of the banking terms, and you in the fintech area that we are talking a different domain. The people says, we need to stop that language, because we are talking the fintech companies, more of fintech company workers are saying, bank do not understand what we are trying to say. So when it comes for banks is just looking at the fintech in a different, doubtfully, these guys will, how they going to keep my data, my customers' data, do they expose? Because one mistake is more than enough to close the bank, my friends. So the fear is correct from their side. So, but the trust and the approaches and the risk they have to take in this arena, it should be fast. So the cultural fit is not there, but we need to build this cultural fit and domain knowledge. Moreover, the fintechs are coming up with the, they if you see, if example, even in this forum also, I can see lots of people from development. You can develop an API and you need to do fetch this account information to show the front end. You do a transaction, you need to minus it and show it off. Just a matter of within a second, they will say, okay, we want to build up this APIs. This is how they do, right? But that knowledge, that you have a knowledge on the API modular architectures, and you can have that microservices based knowledge, you can have. But when it comes to the banks, they are not 100% aware about your technology domains, and you didn't know that the domain of what they people talk about in this. So the gap nowadays is very minimal, because the people who work from the bank, they are coming to the fintech companies. Moreover, fintech companies, the people are coming to the bank industries and trying to do a different department called digital transformation departments. They're evolving and they are trying to minimize that gap. Return on investment. As a fintech companies, we do know that our products have a value that we are giving to our banking customer. They also have a value. The return on investment, ROI, is the banks, the chairmen or CEOs will ask about different SBUs. Okay, we will plan to invest 10 million, example, 10 million on this fintech product. The return on investment is where they can reach it out. For that, the fintech have a duty to be collaborated with the banks, with the banking team, to have a give your support, your insights, and how they can do to achieve the return on investments very quickly. Because a bank also doing a business, they can't adopt all the fintech adoption within a year, or within a 2 years, or within a 3 years. They should have a That is what I put as a strategic plan over here. They should have a strategic plan. So fintech also need to be involved, and the banks need to welcome the fintech companies to for their strategic planning, budgeting, and costing. They need to open harm them. Then only the return on investment reach will come. Compatibility, friends. If bank want to reach one product, I'm not talking about any specific product. You just assume they're talking about a product called A. So they want to launch. Okay, we'll take example. One bank is want to move forward to touch upon the neo banking on 2026. So for that, they will do have a strategic plan. They have built it up, but the problem here is still bank is having a legacy modules in their infrastructure. So as a fintech company, if you go and say, oh my God, we are in a good position of the technology, we are in a different level, we are unable to reach your and we are unable to connect your or interoperability, compatibility issues there. So we are unable to do it. Or otherwise, you take that risk as a fintech, or you invest some money to the, okay, we will come up with this approach. In 2026, we'll go for a neo banking. Till that, we will empower with your legacy system. If that is the missing part that we have talked to the banks, they are saying, DLO or Rimaz also saying, okay, we want to quickly move forward. We want to be a first in market. Truly, they do have a budget on that. The problem here is still they are running with their legacy model. So that time we have so step back, taking a little bit back, and we are supporting them. So we want in their tough period. And last one is the respect to regulatory. When it comes to fintech, regulatory comes up as a fintech companies, especially me. I say, oh, the regulatory, we can't invent anything. We can't give an innovation to this market because of the regulatory. But truth behind is the customer's money is involving customer, the national government policies are there that you need to protect the customer money, everybody on this area. So the regulatory should be there, and the understanding of the regulatory is the most important area. When it comes for, I'll ask the fintech startups and there, so we do have a development arm in our company, and we do have in the software development cycle, we do have all the facets in that area. Do we have a very small, we try to maintain very small compliance team, but we need to have a good advisory team for banking. If you're trying to reach the banks, bank regulatory, understanding of the bank regulatories and the fintech regulatories, we need to have a big fit on that area, and we want to try. This is where that we went wrong. We are not giving this, because these some areas you can say, yeah, some areas very emotional, right? Some areas you talk to the banks, they will feel okay, oh my God, this is not going to fit. So that is where that emotional, this cultural and geographically, if you come and pitch your product into the bank, you need to understanding of the banking culture and understanding what the bank needs. If they are invested, where they are going to get return. So you need to work these areas, not only working your product and giving a high mileage on features and functionalities of your product. That's good. That is be there. That is where that you are winning your business. But when it comes for doing a business or doing what engagement of the bank, you need to think about these 6 pillars. It will be helpful for our banking sectors. So what is the real pulse over here is you need to understand is, and if you go and touch upon the Google, now you can touch and fintech was type fintech was bank or something. You can see 1,000 of articles. Fintech gurus are coming and talking about these modules and keep on. They are trying to do is the real pulse is the not bank was fintechs. Nowadays, we have to think about when it comes for this region, we are operating on this region. We need to think about fintechs and the banks. So the collaboration is the real pulse. We need to think about collaboratively how we can achieve these targets. So the collaboration and giving up and how you're going to do it and how you step in, step up, how you can do the collaboration is going to be more crucial. That is what we are seeing in the future. You can't forget about the banks, and banks can't forget about the fintech. If you want to go with the common thing, so you need to be collaborated. That is the real pulse over here to win this market. So what is going to be the new role of the fintech? If you go with the today, what's the main problem here is every fintech companies do have their products, right? Wow, super. Because today the another thing is the only industry is, I am happy to say, fintech is working very closely. If you go to the okay, if you do have a payment module, you go and implant it with the tokenization module by given by a different fintech company, right? And transaction host will be doing by different one. You are talking to the Visa Master payment instruments there. You are talking about the Western News here, MNOs like that. So this is the only industries happily working with. Previously no, that is a major problem. Now they understand, okay, everybody in the digitalization, everybody have a portion. That mindset is very, very crucial of the sustainability of a fintech company. You need to, okay, this part, right? A company is doing it. They do have a domain. They have that part. I have a part to do, and I have will go with my expertise area on this area. We will merge together. We will in the system. We are merging together means systemly, interoperability. We are merged together. So these are the things are happening. So when you go to the banks and you talk to the banks, you should have a proper blueprint with you, at least for blueprint for the next 5 years. If, for example, I say in Sri Lanka, if you properly searching of the fintech industry, last 1.5 months back, central bank initiation a meeting, a forum called Neo Banking, step into the Neo Banking. That is a good shout out to Sri Lanka, right? So if they move on to the 2026 by Neo Banking, do you ready with your blueprint? Do you ready with your team? You do ready with your thought processes, or you are going to take the another fintech company your bank to Sri Lanka, or you're going to build it up, you're going to scale it up your product. So for that, you should have a proper fintech blueprint. You need to give this blueprint for banks. You need to you need to act as a consultant, and you have to give the much more knowledge where that you as a fintech company want to reach by 2026 and what you have a plan to do. Then we can ask to align the banking strategies. Sometimes the banks will not take the 100%, but will bit and pieces even they will take in. They can easily build up a strategy. This how that you need to go and talk to the banks and say, because I have been in the bank, some people come and give a nice wow product, right? But as banks, we do believe, okay, the strategy is going to be there. So in the fintech, when we come to the fintech also, we just focus on one domain, one product, we market it up, we do the emphasis of the features and functionalities. But that strategic, you need to revisit and rethink that whether it's going to be happen, or you want to give an roadmap, or you have a blueprint. Okay, you choose and where you want to go. For that, how our blueprint is going to support, what are the references we do have, and we can go ahead and you have to act as a consultant. So that is most important. You should have, as a fintech company, you should have a blueprint, and you need to have a consultation power and the consultation guideline and knowledge and team building with the bank and to define the future of the fintech. So this is going to be a more crucial of the fintechs in the new era. Meantime, work for a common goal. If you want the product timeline or project timeline, output, or the features and functionality, if you ask me in the fintech industry who work with the bank, I do have a more close to 1,000 people who work closely with the banks in the development companies in Sri Lanka, fintech company. If they ask, oh, it's very tough to deal with the banks when it comes to the UATs and all the things. But the thing is, you as a fintech companies, you need to have a proper guideline. You need to have a clear communication, because if you go and talk about the artificial intelligence, blockchain, data, the big data, and to the all the things you to the bank, and the bank will choose, but they will, you need to define the common goal. So you both together, banks and the fintechs need to both together to work as a common goal. That time that hiccups will come, but that decision making throughout the process, and the you need to be there and to reach that common goal. That is a very, very tough one, because you are putting a new team to the banks to develop one thing, or giving a productization. If you go there, they do not have that environment. As for the fintech companies, every time blaming, okay, we are planning to install a solution on this date, but if they go there, that infrastructure is not there. So if we have talking this for the last decade, right, friends? So did we have find a mechanism from throughout the pre-sale activity to deployment to live movement? Did we change our approaches? I'm not talking about the agile methodologies or waterfall over here. I'm talking about building a relationship, giving a, you can't command, okay, if this happened, bank, you should pay a penalty. Bank says, okay. So that type of the areas you need to think about, strategically think about, and you need to collaborate with the banks, and you need to define what the common goal and how they're going to run. Okay, from the bank side, that is what the your project, your product, the management of those things and drive it for the common goal is the most important point. When we do deliver some products as a fintech companies, we know that that the banks also telling to us, okay, this is what we expected from them. That is how they are talking, right? We are from a fintech company, we expected this, but they have delivered this, but we are happy. But now we are asking changes for this. They are saying that is not in the initial scope. We can't do it, right? Everybody from this forum will agree for this. So that is where that in the initial stage, you come up with a blueprint, what you have to do, what you can do, that exactly that you have to deliver to your banking partners. Bank also what exactly they want. They also need to define their roadmap. They also want to come that give up that open information for them. Okay, this is what our plan. Okay, this is your plan. Shall we merge together and give one common goal and work together? So that is most important. I can elaborate more and more on that area, because we do have, everybody have a practical issues in over there. But is the process, is the answer, is everything on your thought process, your strategical decision, your company decision as a fintechs, you need to have given a more focus on that area. The last one, friends, I don't know whether everybody in this forum or generally talking, they won't love this part. No more shortcuts, because today the banks do have a knowledge, or they will hire a persons. You can see forums in the CEOs, CWOs, CIOs, head of digitals. Look at them. They will have experiences, right? If you go and some areas we want to take a businesses, we saying 100% available. In fintech, no, nothing is 100% ready-madely available. You can plug and play, right? The integration is there. You want to align where the system. Sometimes their code operation system is different. We are using a different technology. So they do have upscale, downscales. You need to be done. So what you have, what you gain, and what you can do, that you believe, and that need to be there, and you need to build the trust. If you're taking a business, one project is done, if come up with the second, they will shift you and bring it up another fintech companies. You need to revisit your strategy, what will happen to your trust. Sometimes, most of the time, our R&Ds, we don't want to expose the names of the banks who have given those areas, because they do believe they want to work, right? The competency, everything is they've been evaluated, but they have lose the faith on the fintech company. Then the trust is no more. Then we, as a fintech company, again we blaming the bank. So we do a wrong thing, right? Because in the industry, I'm talking point of the industry, and we are blaming to the banking industry. They are not coming fast. How they come fast? Because they trust on the technology. You open the harm to the banks and say, we can do it. They rely on you. They trusted and you and came. Few companies, if doing this, that mistake, it will impact for the our industries, right? So you need to rethink about this, because that is our new role, because no more shortcuts. You need to explain what you can do and what your roadmap, yeah, what is the capabilities you do, what you have done for the previous clients actually. For this, what are the changes that you need to adopt? What is the timeline that you want? And you can play with that areas. If you openly talking about this to your customer or banking customer, they love to listen because they know that, and they are not showcase to you, but once you leave that room, they will discuss and talk about. So if you're not building a trust, or once you deliver the product, the services you want to maintain with the banks, you want to maintain the high level and keep on that doing that. So no more shortcuts. This is not whether you go and buy a biscuit packet from a grocery. So you need to keep on this relationship future. So no new role of the fintech, the no more shortcut is going to be a major crucial part. I think I have a few minutes. So what we have done on ADLs, we have giving a solution and standalone products and integration with multiple backend channels like Visa, Master, Union Pay. This is what I have explained you. We have invested the millions and times and budget, 3% budgets from revenue for build a fintech platform. This is where that we are when we go to the market. We do have experience on building on the solution and standalone products, but as a fintech team, as a consultation team, we will give this unified fintech platform to them to build a hybrid front-end modules or integration modules, upscale, downscales. We can do with this our fintech platform. That is a major part that I from that is this is what I just want to put as a sample, because this is what I have explained you as a blueprint, and this is a major part. Please give your consideration 2 minutes for this point. We totally this session, I think I have talked about 45 minutes. We talked about digitalization and happening, customer, artificial intelligence, blockchains, how we going, what the role of the fintech and all. You ever analyze the banking infrastructure? They do ready to have API manager suite with there. They do have a CI/CD pipeline. So they do have a security extension module with them. If it is new changes come, the version control is there. So do you think they have any automation? That means if you put a UAT, they will take a 1.5 months. They do have a test automation. So that is where that's a major problem. We talk about generically talk about digitalization. In here, what we are talking about, between the bank, we try to build a bank inside the bank. They do have a software development lifecycle within a product, right? They want to use the CI/CD and API manager suits embedded. So that is where that we have given them. So one is the roadmap coming up, and we have empowered them and to define the roadmap. Second thing is we want to change their infrastructural mindset on the taking them into the proper development life cycle of software, and then you need to change them, then only they will also keep up growing and doing a microservice implementation, UATs, QA automations, everything will be in place with that. And the third one is the fintech or non-fintech or banking or whatever the things, data privacy challenges. You should have a proper mechanisms of protecting the data. So if you are a fintech company, if you go with a deck or you go with a business pitch, you need to revisit your security. You have to give about the data privacy module solution for them, because they trust on that area. And finally, I'm not taking that much of these samples to give a final output. And this is the most important thing. We need to identify who's the real king on this picture, right? Just take your mindsets of you are a customer. You don't want to talk about artificial intelligence, how you done my credit score, how you have used blockchain to the my mobile application. They want to use a super app, taking the mobile application, paying for their well-being, and they want to do a investment. They want to do a stock tradings. They want multiple functionalities do through a super app. So they want to have a seamlessly well-connected, secured application. So that is where our global customer. We forgot lots of segments in these areas, right? We have forgot about small medium institutions in unserved banks nowadays. We have forgotten that market because they don't know what's happening is, and because you want the fintech have a more mileage to reach that area, and we have to find a new innovative solution. Then that will come off the government regulatory body. With that, that will be come with the regulatory body is the government have exact values of what's happening money movement on the uh, of the island or of the world. So the real king, if you see the customer is going to be a real king, you need to respect and you need to give a solution. But as a fintech company, you need to make sure functional features, UI, I'm not talking about that, but you need to make sure about security about your product and data securities, and you need to give a lots of regulatory body. You need to give a little bit because you are holding the money of this customers. So, dear friends, my last point, I think I do believe I took lots of time today, really sorry. Why I put this slide is let's march together. You are coming from the telco background, you are coming from a fintech company, or this area is if you are a newcomer for software industry, that as a developer, as a QA, as a business analyst, or if you're working from another facets, another domain, you want to come off the fintech. This is the next generation area to come up and explore your knowledge and explore your things. So you can come up, you can talk to us, or you can talk to our forums, and you can evaluate yourselves and come and join us and let's march together. Come join with us, or you can join multiple fintech companies there. But my point is, fintech is a good area to march together, and other people who's are driving a fintech companies, because today we didn't touch any single of technical word. That is what my ultimate motive, because lots of people are coming on different facet. I don't want to confuse them. So if you we are planning to have a different forum for technically how we can have a blueprint, how we can bring it up these new technologies, how we can artificial intelligence, there big data, and how we empower this, and how we can reach by 2000 end of 2014, how we going to reach the neo banking conceptualization, how we step into the PSD2 with open banking. So technical sessions are coming up. Next sessions are we are planning to do with you guys. So please join for that. Our technical team will come and empower you on that area. And last one is, you are a fintech company. You can have your name is A or B or C. We do have a corporate responsibility. That is what I previously explained. We need to be very very optimistic, and we want to innovative, and we want to reach as a teams and collaborative. We as a fintechs, we need to be collaborative. We discuss, let's to talk together whether your products will be matched to us, our products, our components, where they are our points. We can come and empower you, and you can come and empower and take to the different level. Let's together and serve these banks as a partners. And the final point is from me is the fintechs giving a different role. You need to act as a digital transformation partner. Look at partner, not as a solution provider. That is my final point today's session. Thank you very much. This is what I want to highlight it. I want to go through a generic way to multiple variance audience. I hope that I have covered, and forum is open to you. Anything, please let me know. We will discuss, and thank you very much for this opportunity.